Hi there, once again, my name is Monica. As I mentioned before, I'm the founder and owner of Nova Hypnosis and Wellness. And in this video, I'm going to go into detail on how to resolve the first of the main issues that keep people stuck in their problems. This one is all about how you're viewing the problem, how you're describing the problem, which may be helping you or hindering you from finding a good solution. So I'm sitting at my computer because I want to use the whiteboard function of this computer that I have in order to show you exactly what I'm talking about. Because a picture often, as you know, is worth 1,000 words. So I'm going to share my screen, but specifically I'm going to share my whiteboard on this thing. All right, here we go. So hopefully you can see my whiteboard. I'm going to draw a line, and this line right here, this line right here is your current reality. This is current reality. So I don't know if your current reality is that you're a smoker and you want to be a non-smoker, or if your current reality is that you are overweight and you'd like to lose weight and be a healthier weight. I don't know if your current reality is that you're afraid of giving presentations or public speaking, and you'd like to have more confidence and speak with more conviction and ease. But whatever it is, you're watching this video because you have a problem and you'd like to live in a different place, in a different reality. So I'm going to draw another line. I think I'm going to use a different color this time. Instead of this grayish color, I'm going to use green, right? Because green is good. Green is go. So here is this other line. This line up here is ought. I ought to be able to speak with confidence. I ought to be a non-smoker. I ought to weigh 120 pounds. I ought to blah, 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 whatever it is. We can also call this our desired reality, right? So everybody has this. Everybody, at least anybody who's watching this video, has this situation. You have your current reality, you have your desired reality, and there's something keeping you from getting there. What most of the people who call our office and who come and work with us, the way that they describe their problem is they describe this space right here. Let's pick a different color, this red. All right. So they describe this space right here. There. So this space you can think of as the gap. So this is the difference between is and ought. So it would look something, you would describe this as something like this. I smoke a pack a day, right? Like that's the gap. I smoke a pack a day and I want to smoke 0 packs a day. I want to be a non-smoker. This is my problem. My problem is that I smoke a pack a day. Or I eat tons of sugar and refined carbs. That's my problem. That is what's keeping me from being at a healthy weight. I am or overweight because I eat too much, or I'm overweight because I don't exercise enough, or I'm overweight because I don't eat the right foods. And unfortunately, that gap is not actually the problem. It's just a symptom, okay? So this is actually a symptom, and it is not your or the, let's use the word the, problem. So the problem is not that you smoke. The problem is not that you are eating the wrong foods. The problem is not that your voice shakes or you start to sweat when you give a presentation. That is just the symptom. And it's the symptom that brings people in because it's uncomfortable, right? It's not what we want to experience. However, what's really the problem is actually something else. It is the obstacle. So there is something in your life. Oops, let's make that a different color so you can read it. The obstacle is not the gap. So the obstacle is really what we want to remove and extract out of your life to take you from your current reality down here to your desired reality up here. Now, I want to let you know that this concept was actually introduced to me. The way to frame this concept was introduced to me by a really wise gentleman named Keith Cunningham. Keith Cunningham is a business coach and a strategist, and he is really a phenomenal speaker, a phenomenal teacher, and I respect him very much. And I was attending a business seminar, and he was describing this framework for problems in a person's business. And as I was listening to it, and I was like, oh yeah, that makes complete sense, it dawned on me that actually this is the same framework that I could use to explain to my clients what exactly it is that we do when we work with them. So when we work with a person, when we work with them in whatever capacity, online, in person, doesn't matter, we are always focused on removing the obstacle, on deleting this guy right here, erase, so that you as the client can get from is to ought. Because when you're at this point down here, this current reality, if you've got this gigantic boulder in your way, it doesn't matter how many times you try to eat clean. It doesn't matter how many strategies you employ for becoming a non-smoker. It doesn't matter how many deep breaths you take before a presentation. The obstacle is still there. And whether that obstacle is a limiting belief or a traumatic experience or a way that you see yourself, a perception of yourself, that obstacle is going to keep you locked into your current reality. It's going to keep you locked into the problem. So the goal, as I mentioned, is to delete this so that you can do a whole bunch of things, whatever those things might be. Let's take another green line here. So you can do little things, as Keith Cunningham would say, little things done consistently over time will always get you to where you want to be. So whether each of these lines represents a day in which you eat clean, or each of these lines represents a day in which you exercise, or a day where you don't smoke, or a presentation that you give with complete and utter confidence, or a day in which you wake up and meditate, or a day in which you journal. Whatever it is that you need to do consistently to get yourself from your current reality to your desired reality, these consistent things can only produce progress for you if the obstacle has been removed. Okay? So again, to summarize this first point about why people are stuck in their problem, people are usually stuck in their problem because they come into our office, or before they come into our office, they're defining the problem by the gap. They're defining the problem via the symptom that is causing them, that is very apparent in their life, and they're not identifying the actual obstacle keeping them locked into their problem. So through the course of several sessions working with me or one of our providers, you will have your obstacle, our goal, our desired outcome for you is to eliminate the obstacle, delete that obstacle down here, and in place a variety of strategies or new beliefs or new references for you to continue to make progress towards your ought, your desired reality. I'm going to stop sharing my screen now. So I do want to make this one very clear connection. This is the main reason why we don't do a single session. So we will do an initial assessment in either over the phone, online or in person. We will do an initial assessment to really understand you, to really get an idea of who you are, what your current reality is, what your desired reality is, what the obstacle is in the way, what is the gap, what are the symptoms of the problem. And then in that initial assessment, we go into great detail to determine a strategy that works for you, for your life, for your budget, for your desired reality. And in that initial assessment, this is why the initial assessment is so important. Without it, we couldn't identify the obstacle. Now, there may be other obstacles, so we may eliminate one obstacle in session one of a multi-session program, and there may be another obstacle that is in the way, and it was just being hidden by the bigger one. But at least we have a starting point from which to go. If we were to just dive into one session and not do an initial assessment and not have a plan, it's like throwing spaghetti against the wall. I don't know, I'll try something, see if it works. Boom. Okay. Oh, it worked. Yay. And everyone's happy. But if it doesn't work, people are unhappy. And we want you to be happy. We care so much about every single person that comes into our office. We are unwilling to promise someone a miracle in a day, a miracle in one session, only to have them potentially be disappointed. So whatever program that we recommend to you, it is because collaboratively with you, we've determined what the obstacle is, we've determined what your desired outcome is, we've determined what your current reality is, and together we've confirmed or agreed that this is at least the initial program, the initial plan for getting you to that outcome. And we may make refinements along the way, but at least we're starting from a plan. We're all about results, and we get people results. If you have a moment, take a look at our Yelp reviews. Take a look at what people say about working with us, and you'll see that we are so results driven, in addition to truly caring about everybody that we work with. And that is our secret sauce. That is why we can get you from where you are to where you want to be. All right, so that was the first one. Stay tuned for the next four more little videos where I go into detail about how you can get unstuck and why you may up until now have been stuck in your problem. Thank you.